motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I
You're the stupidest fucking
Hey,
thing
I'm
in
a
the world,
motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, like I told ya, this is for my motherfucking soldiers, my blacks on my 18s on my real yosers. Toothless, re-razor, my ruthless, we don't give a fuck. Got niggas on the time up, fuck you die, fucking us, then you die. Real niggas make real moves, consequences, cautious. I'm in the gang, listen up, banks nigga, from the bay, black cloud, nigga, mainstream, black jeans and 18, on shadow, soft me, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life.
Yours are procedure to the death of me, just banging on these dog shit, cause there ain't no money left in me, Bringing
there ain't no mana left in me.
My four black niggas going send you straight to the cemetery. Yours boss, two of my niggas patched off, just banging around the nation, never giving a fuck. Two of my niggas holding the down thing, truth is a black and blue. Fuck them up, you might be coming for you.
And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This gang, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. We need this for life, bring it down forever. For banging the streets, cashed up at age 16. Checking mugs on the daily routine. Don't have speaker and don't smack back in your truth. It's the nigga free, running the streets of refugee. Reaching high, your fucking world, you slugging to the sky. You do the good till I die. Only the wicked survive. I drive so you ready to ride. Niggas for life, niggas for life, niggas for life. And I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. This game, and I 6. Hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Go forward, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Get this hell, bow down, this is the black bar. Tinted on my face, it's begging. All around, so bow down, with the real niggas in the town, Go forward, I'm a nigga. Get this hell, bow down, this is the black bar. Tinted on my face, it's begging. All around, bow down, with the real niggas in the town,
In the streets, you prepare when you take shoot. Some situations can make you or break you. But fuck that shit, I'm a nigga for life. The day I got patched up, real niggas for life. Show black, I see little. Sometimes ride, sometimes 40s, hard times I live through. Hard places, gotta make pissed up. Nigga makes me pick chasing every day. Life flags is hesitate, but it's okay, I'm still here. Vegas, Grand Hood, NFL, we voted up. We young niggas rising up. Patch members, show fuck my black cars, we stay stoned. Through the storm and through the war. Niggas for life, niggas support. See them up, we kill them all. Take this patch, rolling on. Don't fuck a devil. Representing everything. Bow down the town, wait in your town, let a rap. So black we found out, so black we found out. No fuck, I'm a motherfucking nigga. Here is hell, bow down, it's the black bar. Tatted on my face, it's banging on around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, No fuck, I'm a nigga. Here is hell, bow down, it's the black bar. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town, BPAT is what you see, and what you see is what you get, and what you get is chin check. When you come around the way, you gon' feel the full effect of a crazy ass nigga run my blade, crush your neck. Angel shit real quick, I hold it down for the fist. This black pride motherfucker, we be up in this bitch. Yeah, you see us on the hustle, we be trying to get rich. This game to the death, know that I never switch. I'm 18, nigga, never take it lightly. Fuck 'em up if they mighty, but none of them wanna fight me. You don't believe me, come try me, your fucking ass will be lying. See your mama, she crying, but she kiss you goodbye. And I stay real, nigga. I live and die for the black. I live and die for the past. I'm spitting rhymes to the facts. Now I think you get the message, so there might be a rap. This paper chasing nigga makes this nigga life's
is at. No front to the motherfucking nigga. Get this hell down, it's the black club. Tripped it on my face, spanking all the rounds. Fell down with the real niggas in your town, Oh, come on, nigga. Get this hell down, it's the black club. Tripped it on my face, spanking all the rounds. Fell down with the real niggas in your town, We the black, so be careful what you say to us. Repercussions is a must if you fuck with us. Got some foul niggas, killers waiting for the club. It's that real black club, here to kill you all.
Well, that's good. I can't stop until it starts. That's fucking genius, YouTube. That's fucking genius. Fucking hell, eh? You blow my fucking buzz, eh? Fucking hell, eh?
280 years ago.
I don't give a fucking rat's ass, man. The fuck out of here. But that counted as a view for somebody. Fucking hell, eh? I got like 8 fucking things open here trying to shut that shit. I fucking hate you fucking coders. You just blew my fucking buzz. Holy fuck, eh? Absolutely just ruined my fucking buzz.
Gotta put a low. What you really know, I got all the snow. Come right out the boat, come right out the boat. Come right out the boat, come right out the boat. This year you already know. I feel like I've been the GOAT. I know I can hold my own. I know I can hold my own. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get the money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. Yeah, they talking because they never lived it. I've been gunning for them 7 digits. Came back with a better vision. I ain't never switching. I'ma get this chicken. Crime pays, that's my way. Try to tell them, but they never listen. Fuck the ops, fuck the cops. I'ma make a meal this winter. Merry Christmas. I've been on it since Dipset. How they wanna get their lips wet. All these bitches used to try to sweat me. Now I'm flexing on them with this pimp set. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get the money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. All I know that crime pay. I'ma get it one day. I'm cruising down the highway. All I know that crime pay. Get the money 5 ways. I'm cruising down the highway. I'ma get it one day. If I die before I wake, pray to the Lord my soul to take. If I die before I wake, pray to the Lord my soul to take. I can't sleep, these nightmares are real. Gotta keep both hands on the wheel.
I don't knock, I don't pick locks. I kick doors down and let go shots. Call me hot shot, real life nightmare. And the S, I make niggas cry gangster tears. No alcohol, no beer. Like Freddy, I'll kill you in your nightmares. Where the cash at? Where the stash at?
You just rhymed nightmare with nightmare.
Where the girl's at? She's in the strip on the floor like the doormat. Brick and break the blue sky, cause she know you whack. Cool dogs, that's what you thinking of a rap. This ain't fiction.
It's that one drop stitch in the carpet type of shit.
Cool dog, nigga, 6 bloods on the floor. 1 clips, 2 clips, 3 clips, 4. Cool dog, nigga, 6 bloods on the floor. Booyah!
Coming in tough, no matter what, by the window, by the door. Yes, picking on the lock for the door. That's a show, cause we know what you got on the stove, on the table, and your money's in the box. So I'm picking on the lock, coming through the door, blasting. No move, nothing in the ass. One bad move, then you get your ass kicked. Yo, I'm not in the mood, so the peach gas. You see the eyes of a wolf, and I hope you see it. Cold off around, so your ass is frozen. Woof, motherfucker, now you about to get defeated. Not bad, you the one who chose it. Not be able to give no options. Not more made, but a man on a mission. It's not a good dream, but a bad situation. More like a nightmare, you are the victim. 1, 2, 3, 4. No upstairs, I'm coming in tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. No stairs, I'm coming in tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. No upstairs, I'm coming in tough. 1, 2, 3, 4. No stairs, I'm coming in tough.
I'm over it. I know I fucking snapped there over stupidness. Oh, I still got another joint burning.
Sit your little bitch ass down, nigga. Please, this dude can't spell ball without the AR. Vote me for mayor. Taking helicopters down with a little laser. And the cannon, I'm holding bigger than fucking mega. Yaga, the liquor for the shots will make you stagger. To my little brother, it's like he loves my partners. Real party boy, baby, y'all boxes. With this empire, it's nothing like rocks. These are enemy lines, nobody can cross it. I was just in a battle with fuckers, triple tits. 4 clips like a bitch's wig stiction. Murder gang sick shit. Got me reading the words as of my victim lipsticks. Hit your straight murders. Niggas know I'm running through the streets with beef. Like the hamburger with the burner. No food surfing. Yeah, still M3G reppin'. Yeah, sitting in the vehicle. Lighting on people. Taking your breath possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything we're doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot. I'm at the bar ordering a Heineken. Waiting for the street to fall back. I was timing him. Fronting him a couple said to check me around 9 or 10. MGK at 1 point. Nigga, we some wild men. Put together life again. Breakfast like the Irishman. Used to call me Ben Trey. Charlie was a rider man. Nigga tried to end me for the money. Call a fireman to put my fucking flame up. Go ahead and try it then.
By all means, do you. I'm creeping through the field, shot the solo. Cruising in the Subaru. Murder gang, croak on doors and give them bubbles. You lose. Tell you what kind of like two shows. Listen, Junior receives to the highest shooters to whack. Right now, I'd rather smack you. Don't even attempt, I won't tap you. Really, I don't have to. Slap the kid so hard, I point a wonder, call him Matthew. Subliminal. Murder gang squad in effect. I set it up to win no box. You about to follow my dialect. My number, you ain't dial yet. That judge ain't fire yet. By the end of this track, the motherfucker buying it. That bitch shows ranges in a couple 45s in it. Get your couple pieces, but I'll beat him if I'm hiding it. In the L spot, nigga known for the kill shot. Cause I'm the nigga that shot Jack and chill out the hilltop. Lil Red Rider Hood was Rider Hood. The song blew her up now. She ain't riding through the hood. And Woody Woodpecker was a fag. While Batman got chest and panties up for his pants. Spidey was a swinger. Wolverine is a nigga that's obvious. So they ain't gotta mention that spinner. Well, I master cheddar in my mouth. My dead bro blast for cheddar. Trying to make out is better. Yeah, I'm sitting in the vehicle. Plotting on people. Taking your past possession like a reaper. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Everything I'm doing is illegal. Kneeling with the hammer. Call it Tim Tebow. Holding on the hammer. Call it Home Depot.
I don't know where the other one went, so we'll just put it on this one.
I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can get it so whoop. I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop.
It's science.
I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop. I'm just chillin' with my boys and I can hit it so whoop.
Look, been out on the grind for the minute, trying to get it out. I've been getting it. These niggas have been sweating it. Don't get out the bed for when I phone a nigga begging it. I'm way ahead of it. I'll ride upon a nigga letting it off. When it comes to this rap shit, I've got this. It's always Jeezy low. Man, a greasy folk. I'm out for them low.
Man, a greasy folk.
In case a man try provoke, that's 5 shots through his coat. Listen, if you know, then you know. I'm still on lot of drugs, shotting hoes, stashing knives in your clothes. If it's not your beef, I'm getting involved. Only ride out to slap a nigga down and no cases getting sold. Listen, if I'm the shooter, you're the victim. I rode out with him and told police I went with him. I gave me boys follow tips, slugs to the loot. Just said that's for that dude. The next day when it clipped him, I'm back on it. Niggas got the shotty. Said I don't want it. I've got nowhere to put it. Plus it's out of bullets and I hate them shotguns. Cause when it's beef, I've never got nowhere to stuff it. I'm riding out with landings with bullets that expand. If a hitman by the barbers, he gon' land by pound. And then he lost. So don't act like you found, man. 8 bills for the odds if you want that brown tan. Listen, I'm trying to stay low off the radar from poker cause I know they want me so. Still trying to find me from crimes that I did years ago, but I don't even give a fuck. I got fined once, they hit me with some threats. Talk about they'll take the shit if I didn't pay the debt. You better cheat. Tell him Jeezy. Straight Liverpool to Toronto. You know what it is?
Show these niggas how to rock on my side. Yo. I'm like, bang, bang, shot, fly like a clown in the park again. So flew like an angel with the darkest sins. You can't fly with the carpet wings. So I had to watch him sing like exotic shit. It's like I built this on my own, no partnership. I did it solo. Nigga, this my nigga, so I shot it up solo. Words to my nigga, the clip spilled for the phone. Yeah, sure. And I'm like, word to my mother, this pop kills. And if I don't have it, then I know that this night will. See where I'm from? Man, know that the totally lost Liverpool. Man, tell you never to a pull up on the stack grill. Cap spill, but the gas spill. And the thing gets stashed in the back bill. And I'm like, niggas been snaking and all that. You know I'm a boss. I took a break, but I'm taking it all back. Handles done smooth, pump short as a side that. Gun switch the pressures like I'm ready for combat. Yo, stop, dirty fuck niggas beyond that. One phone call, 7 niggas in all black.
Conclusion to Planters' Super Bowl campaign, Mr. Peanut rose from the dead. They were having a supposed funeral for him during a Super Bowl ad, and a plant begins to grow and eventually sprouts a baby Mr. Peanut.
Oh, that's healthy and wholesome.
Now, an ad went viral a couple of weeks ago showing Mr. Peanut involved in a tragic car accident, supposedly leading to his death. So,
was he drinking?
This promotional stunt. All right, meantime,
was it an
another
overdose?
Story here regarding
These are the
a
questions
tech
we
company
have
and
these
Canadian.
days.
Expect to see more Adam Sandler on your Netflix feed. The streaming giant announced that Sandler and his Happy Madison Productions have reached a new deal with Netflix to make 4 more films. Sandler just wrapped up a deal with
What's
the streaming
4 Adam
service that's
Sandler
produced
movies
5
in a
films and a
row,
stand-up
right?
special.
It's
Netflix
just
says
one
the
long
company is
fucking
excited
movie.
to extend its partnership with the comedian. No surprise why. Sandler making some money for Netflix, it would seem. His 2019
Watching
comedy
Adam Sandler.
Murder
Which
Mystery
one?
was the
I don't
most
know.
popular
Adam Sandler.
film on Netflix in the United States last year, and one of the most popular in 8 other countries. Netflix stock is up 3.8%, $358 the share. Broader markets are higher after what was a Friday sell-off, with the TSX right now higher by 87 at 17,405. Moving the strength for the healthcare group, for the telecom group. Energy stocks positive as a group, either with
Healthcare
oil
and telecom, that makes sense.
$50.04. Oil's really dripped lower the last few weeks amid concerns that the coronavirus will slow the global economy. Gold is down $6.50 to $1,581 US dollars the ounce. On Wall Street, we got the Dow Jones Industrial Average of 212 points to 28,468. S&P gains 26 points, a gain of 0.8%. And the NASDAQ Composite is up 130. Tech stocks looking good. Going to get earnings in from Alphabet, the Google parent company, after the closing bell, and you'll hear them here. Canadian dollar down 1/3 cent to 75.21 cents US. Top stories are next, right here on 680 News.
So our mortgage approval is done?
Great news. The bank has approved you at a 2.89% rate.
What the what? That's way too high. Butler Mortgage is 2.48%.
Well, it cannot be the same as our bank's mortgage.
It's totally the same. 5-year fixed rate, same features, no fees, 2.48%. I'm switching to Butler Mortgage. Enough of making the banks rich.
License number 12118. High ratio fixed rate APR 2.49%.
Hello, I'm Daryl Hayashi, a former tax auditor. You've been listening to my ads for the last 20 years. Dealing with Revenue Canada can be an emotional and difficult time for you. No wonder many of you out there have chosen to bury your head in the sand. Call me at 416-751-TAX-7. That's 416-751-TAX-7. Or email me at taxaudit@rogers.com. Let's get that sand out of your hair.
This is your breaking news station, 680 News. If you're off to Vancouver, clouds a high of 1. Calgary clouds -4. Edmonton clear, a high of -7. Winnipeg light snow -12. Ottawa light snow -4. Halifax clear -5. Los Angeles clouds, high of 19. Vegas clouds, a high of 9.
Whatever it is
Chicago,
here is warm as
cloudy,
fuck.
4. Miami clear 23. New York City clear and a high of 12. In downtown Toronto, mostly cloudy skies, 5 degrees. 680 News Time, the Double Tones, 3:30.
I don't know. It feels warmer.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This
is 680 News.
Here are Split Janet Dominzik and James Monroe. Good afternoon. This is Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news right now.
Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health says the number of people under investigation for coronavirus seems to be dropping. The number of confirmed cases in the province stands at 3.
The Trudeau government has chartered a second plane to fly Canadians out of the epicenter
Yeah,
of the
they won't all fit on
coronavirus
one
outbreak
plane.
in China, but our evacuation plans are on hold as we await final approvals from Chinese authorities.
Full-page newspaper ads against the teachers' unions from a group that does not appear to exist.
All the hallmarks of a Doug Ford smear campaign.
The NDP wants a full investigation.
And the suspect in the murder of a 49-year-old woman in Scarborough last month has died in hospital.
It's the Leafs and the Panthers tonight from Scotiabank Arena. Toronto trying to
You
move
gotta
4
tell us
points
about
clear
that.
of Florida. Raptors have the next few days off. Sports at 45.
Half an hour ahead of the closing bell, investors buying stocks. Tech concerns strong. Late day business at 56.
331.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langford.
This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Now, 2 problems on the westbound 401. One is approaching Yonge and the Collectors. Left lane is blocked at the crash, and it's slowing things from Bayview and the Collectors, but it doesn't stop there. Westbound 401 approaching Weston in the Express. The lane 3 of 4 is blocked now with a collision, and it's heavy going from approaching the 400 in the Express
On the left
to
or the
approaching
right?
Weston, and then delays from the 410 Express and
gotta be
Collectors to
the right.
west of Mavis. Here's some good news, though. Eastbound 401 approaching Mavis, problems have cleared. It's still heavy from approaching Winston Churchill.
I'm not even
Eastbound
driving
401
and
is
people
busy
are fucking me
427 to Leslie Express and Collectors, Warden to Kennedy and the Collectors, and through Salem as well. Northbound 400 delays from Finch to Steeles, and then from King Road to north of it, where the right lane is blocked off for emergency road repair. So quite a delay on the northbound 400. Northbound Don Valley 404 delays from approaching Bloor to north of Lawrence, and it's heavy now from north of Shepherd all the way up to approaching 407 because the 2 right lanes are closed for pothole repairs. On the westbound Gardner, we have delays from the Don Valley Parkway to Webster Strawn. It picks up, and then you'll find it slow westbound QEW from the 427 to west of Copra. Ford Plant to Trafalgar from 3rd line off and on to the 403 ramp in Burlington. Westbound 403 delays from Cawthra to west of Huron, Ontario, and filling in northbound 427 from north of Rexdale to Finch. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report is at 3:41, and now with the forecast, here is Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, mild and sunny today. Okay, so yeah, that's over. That's done. We're only going to get colder as the week goes on. And tonight, down to -1, which is still above seasonal, but cold enough that we're going to bring in some light flurries and freezing drizzle. And for untreated surfaces, that equates to icy conditions tonight and into the morning commute. So watch for those slick spots. I hope all the municipalities are listening to me and really pre-treating those roads tonight as we start off at -1. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll get some sunny breaks, a drier drive home with a high of 3. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. It is currently 5 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 333.
Dozens of patients are being tested, but for now, public health officials say there are no new cases
Remember,
of
false
coronavirus
negatives.
in Ontario.
Here's 680's Irene Franklin.
Ontario health officials say the number of people under investigation in the province for coronavirus seems to be dropping.
Under investigation
Dr.
like it's a
Barbara
crime
Duffy, the
now.
province's Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health, says as of this morning, 108 tests for the virus have been done in Ontario.
Of them, as you know, 3 are positive, 2 in Toronto, 1 in London, Middlesex. 76 are negative. We have 3 presumptive negatives.
What do you mean
and 26 which have results pending.
Of those 3 confirmed cases, all are still under medical supervision at home.
One of those
from local
confirmed
public
cases
health
popped a
officials,
false negative.
including Toronto Public Health. I'm
So
Irene
does that count
Franklin.
as one of the
In
ones you
Wuhan,
cleared
China,
already?
ground zero for the coronavirus. More Canadians want to come home, prompting the Trudeau government to charter a second airplane. 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney has those details.
304 Canadians are now asking the government to help them flee the lockdown Wuhan region. While the feds have a plane on
Send them
standby
a
in
dictionary
Vietnam, Foreign Affairs
with
Minister
a bookmark
Philippe
where the
Champagne
page
says there are some
lockdown is.
capacity concerns.
Should we miss a few seats, we have secured a second plane. We bought an option over the weekend to have a second plane ready to go.
But evacuation plans are on hold as we await final
Why
approvals
didn't
from
you just
Chinese
get one big
authorities.
plane?
Health Minister Patty Hajdu says when the green light is given,
Why
Chinese
didn't you all
officials
get on
will
the plane
screen the
before they stopped
passengers
the
at the
flights?
airport.
Travelers will undergo a second screening by Canadian Forces medical staff before being allowed to board.
The flight
that's
will have
good.
a
It's supposed
CMV
to military
transmitted Ontario, where passengers will be quarantined for 2 weeks, being provided both physical and mental supports as they're monitored for symptoms. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Symptoms ranging from no symptoms
This
to
is City
death.
News. The provincial NDP is suspicious of the Ford government after a series of anti-teacher ads ran in 3 national newspapers over the weekend. They want Elections Ontario to get involved. 6 Cities' Mark Douglas joins us live with that, Mark.
Well, James, who or what is Vaughan Working Families?
Whoever placed these ads want us to know where they're from, but they don't want us to know who they are.
And that's the NDP's critic for ethics
person
and
I would do is
accountability,
pick a different
Taras
city
Nedashak.
than the one I
A
was
trio
in.
of full-page newspaper ads with an anti-teachers union pro-Ford government message appeared in weekend editions of The Star, The Globe, and The National Post. The ads seemingly come from that group calling itself Vaughan Working Families, but while the ads are real, the group appears to be completely made up.
Look, these ads have all the hallmarks of a Doug Ford smear campaign.
Nedashak also calls the ads illegal because they were seen in Ottawa, where by-election campaigning is underway, and the cost of full-page newspaper ads is far, far beyond the limits on third-party political advertising. An Elections Ontario rep tells me the agency cannot comment on what it does or does not investigate. The Toronto Star says they're looking into this ad. A statement from the spokesperson for Education Minister Stephen Lecce, who happens to represent Vaughan, says only, quote,
Where is
the government
Pierre
was not
Coutine?
aware of the advertisements and not familiar with the group, Vaughan Working Families, unquote. Live from Queen's Park, I'm Mark
Sounds like
Douglas.
a
This is 680 News. A good
white
chunk of this year's
supremacist
budget will
group
be
or
used to
something.
help curb gun violence. 680's Melvin Kresge is the latest on Mayor Tory's pledge to fund anti-violence efforts.
The city is spending an additional $6 million to create community programs in the hopes it will help curb the rise in gun violence.
Yeah,
So the
it will,
question
10
is,
years
how
from now.
effective can it be? Pablo Vivanco is the program director at the Jane Finch Center. He tells me it won't solve all the issues, but it will most certainly help.
These type of programs are the things that youth need, and obviously it's a huge challenge. Right? The money is welcome. We don't expect that these $150,000 and $200,000 that you're going to eliminate violence in communities, but you're going to make an impact on the lives of youth, and hopefully that those interventions will pull a significant number of youth out of those cycles.
Mayor Tory says he believes the programs will be effective. In North York, I'm Melvin Kresge.
This is 6 City News. Canadians
University
were
Heights.
super busy on social media during the Super Bowl. Here's our business editor, Chris McCusker.
Salesforce Canada has out with several lists of the top performing trends collected and analyzed by Social Studio. Believe it or not,
Cannabis
Donald
is gonna
Trump
be on here.
dominated the conversation, stemming from his campaign ad, although adding to the brand volume was a tweet where the U.S. president congratulated the wrong state after Kansas City won. Now, Google got the most mentions for advertisers
Fuck
after
that
the
up.
brand of Donald Trump, although not all U.S. commercials aired in Canada. And on the halftime show globally, 78% of the mentions for J-Lo and Shakira's performance was positive. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
How do you know if it's
This
negative
is
or
680
positive?
News. The suspect in the murder of a 49-year-old woman in Scarborough last month has died in hospital. 37-year-old Ricardo Mirabellas was shot multiple times by police when officers tried to arrest him near the Scarborough Town Center in mid-January. He's been in hospital ever since. The Special Investigations Unit says multiple shots were fired at the suspect. 5 days earlier, a 49-year-old woman was found in a burning high-rise unit near Shepherd and Warden. She died later in hospital. In his hospital bed, Mirabellas was charged with first-degree murder in her death.
This is All News Radio 680 News.
That's fucked up.
With breaking news from the U.S., popular radio personality Rush Limbaugh has been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. The 69-year-old made the announcement during his show today. He says he will not be on the air in the coming days due to treatment. He's one of the most popular talk radio hosts in the U.S., and while he
No,
did
we
not
got
endorse
the
Trump
medicine.
during the 2016
Fucking
election,
hooligan.
the staunch Republican is a friend of the president, with the pair spotted golfing together on several occasions.
Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 3:39.
You know how my brother moved his investments to Questrade? I think it's a smart move for us too.
Investing online? Not sure we're those people.
Those people pay way lower fees, 0.5% versus the 2% we pay.
That's 4 times lower.
Over time, that could be life-changing.
Save your retirement. See how you can retire wealthier with the Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
On city streets, emergency crews on scene of a collision on Finch west of Martin Grove and in Mississauga. Eastbound Derry still closed at Torbram because of a vehicle fire. It's jammed from approaching the closure from Dixie.
City Streets was brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota, proudly
is the
powering the
shortest
680 News
segment
Traffic
of any
Cruiser.
program
Don
I've
Valley
ever
North
heard anyway.
Toyota, 50 vehicles inside, even more outside, and one just right for you. Steele's just east of the 404.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicting the price will not change at midnight. We should stay at just under $1.10 a liter.
680 News Time, 3:40.
Hi, I'm Ivanka Osmak from Sportsnet. With a job that starts late, a 2-year-old that starts early, and a new baby on the way,
That's your
great
fault.
night's sleep was a challenge, to say the least. I love my sleep and I needed help, so I reached out to the sleep experts at Sleep Country. They were awesome. The first thing they did was fit me with the right pillow for my unique sleeping style. I thought all pillows were the same, but after I tested a few, they matched me with the BioSoy pillow, and I've never looked back. It features high-density memory foam that shapes
The
to my head
BioSoy
and
was
neck
like a
to
drink
help
you get
take
in
a load
Chinatown.
off my tired back. And you don't need to be pregnant to appreciate the all-natural hypoallergenic cover. Better pillow, better sleep, better me. Plus, it gets better. Right now, buy one BioSoy pillow at Sleep Country and get a second BioSoy pillow free. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
680 News Time, 3:41.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Christine Langos.
And this report is brought to you by Mazda Canada. Just having a look for a vehicle fire on the westbound 401 west of Meadowvale in the Express. According to MTO, we have the right lane blocked off, so you'll find it slow going westbound 401 approaching this problem with this vehicle fire. A lot of motorists are just moving over for safety right now. And then delays on the westbound 401 in general across the GTA. Westbound 401 approaching Yonge and the Collectors. Left lane is blocked. Westbound 401 approaching Weston in the Express. All lanes have reopened following an earlier collision, but it's slow from the Allen, alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon, from the 410 to west of Mavis. Delays on the eastbound 401 approaching Winston Churchill to Mavis, east of the 427 across to Leslie, alternately Express and Collectors, from the 404 to Victoria Park Express to Kennedy Collectors, and from Westney to east of Salem. It's also quite a drag north on the 400 rather, from Finch to Steeles, and very slow now from Teston to north of King Road. It's all because of road work taking place. The right lane is blocked, so that's the reason for the backup. You could try Weston instead. Northbound John Valley Parkway delays from north of Gerard to north of Lawrence, and northbound 404 also very slow going from north of Shepherd to the 407. Pothole repairs taking up the two right lanes there. On the westbound Gardner Queenie, we have delays DVP to west of Strawn, 427 to west of Cawthra, Fort Plant to Trafalgar, and from Burloak off and on to Brant. Northbound 427 is slow from Rexdale to Finch, and delays on the westbound 403 from Cawthra to west of Pure, Ontario. Don't forget this vehicle rollover. It's eastbound Derry at Torbram. They've closed all eastbound lanes. The 2020 Mazda CX-9 is designed to elevate every moment with 3-row seating capacity, including second-row captain's chairs. Book a test drive today at Mazda.ca. Your next report is at 3:51, and now with the forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahide.
And Christine, today through Wednesday, good days to get stuff done outdoors. We do have to watch for some icy conditions, though, tonight after midnight and through the morning commute. We've got a little bit of freezing drizzle and some flurries on the way, so it's expected to be icy in spots out there in the morning as we wake up to -1, and then we'll dry out through the afternoon, some sunny breaks and a high of 3 degrees, and a pretty decent day on Wednesday, dry, the last dry day of the week, partly cloudy, and back to seasonal at -2. It will get colder as the week goes on. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. It is now 5 degrees at Pearson.
Now the Scotia iTrade Market Minute. To the Business Center, here's Richard Southern.
And there are more buyers than sellers, Legana, as we approach the end of the trading day here. TSX up 81 points, 0.5%, 17,399. Weakness for the gold miners, though, as the yellow metal falls almost $8 to $1,580 the ounce. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 180 points to 28,436. S&P 500 up 30 points, almost 1%. The Nasdaq gains 120 cents. Canadian dollar down a third of a cent to 75.21 cents US. You're listening to 680 News.
A third.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
The world's biggest tennis stars battle it out this summer at the Aviva Center in Toronto. Reigning champion Rafa Nadal, homegrown Canadian talent Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime, and four-time winner Novak Djokovic. With so much to love, don't miss the Rogers Cup, presented by National Bet. Single session tickets on sale now. Book now at rogerscup.com.
Fuck this up.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto right now. We are sitting at 5 degrees. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sloljana Tominczyk.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
The province's public health officials say 26 patients are being tested, but right now there are no new coronavirus cases here in Ontario. More Canadians stranded in Wuhan, China, asking to come home, prompting the Trudeau government to charter a second airplane. And in the U.S., radio personality Rush Limbaugh announcing on a show this afternoon that he's been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Xero.
All right, so Jana, Sportsnet 590 The Fan will have tonight's call from Scotiabank Arena when the Leafs take on the Florida Panthers, a real important game in the standings. Panthers have 2 games in hand, and they are just 2 points back of the Leafs for third place in the division. Face-off set for 7 o'clock. Freddie Anderson back in goal, Sergei Bobrovsky for Florida, and Kasperi Kapanen will be back in the lineup. The reason why he was scratched on Saturday was because he overslept and was late to Friday's practice. Head coach Sheldon Keefe called it a pattern of such incidents. Well, adding a piece to a really good team sounds like a good idea, but Paul Jones says the Raptors may be best to stand pat.
You're trying to maintain that flexibility going forward. Because if all of this chatter is true about Giannis 2 seasons from now, why are you going to take on salary or, like I said, limit your flexibility?
And there was Jonesy on writer's block with the trade deadline this Thursday. Raptors go for a franchise record 12th straight win Wednesday when taking on Indiana. And ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reporting the Boston Celtics are among the teams showing interest in Houston Rockets center Clint Capella. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
This is 680 News.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And Brothers for Life.
Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
The cold, savage winds are upon us, and only Hyundai can save us now.
Then let us ready the heated seats, heated steering wheels, and fully promote standards.
Don't fear winter, love it. From the warmth of a new Hyundai. During Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai's iHeart Winter event, enjoy no-charge all-wheel drive, or don't pay for 90 days on select models. Plus, existing owners get up to $750 in loyalty incentives.
Get the super deal from the super fan.
Loyalty
Visit
incentives.
MississaugaHyundai.com and RexdaleHyundai.ca.
I buy the car, I give you money, I drive away. That's the
Radio
end of
680
it.
News. The latest attempt at an HIV vaccine has failed as researchers announced they've stopped giving the experimental shots in a major study.
The study had enrolled more than 5,400 people since 2016 in South Africa, a country with one of the world's highest HIV rates. Last month, monitors checked how the study was going, and according to the U.S. National Institutes of Health, 129 HIV infections had occurred among the vaccine recipients, compared with 123 among those given a dummy shot. 2 other large studies in several countries are underway, testing a different approach to a possible HIV vaccine. Shelley Adler, Washington.
Getting the
Here with All News Radio 680
vaccine
News, the city of Vaughan giving Mormons residents
increases
the
your
tool needed to
chances of
help save a life
getting
in the event
HIV.
of cardiac
For real,
arrest.
that's fucked
It's
up.
updated and installed 60 automated external defibrillator units in city facilities. An AED is a portable device used to treat victims of cardiac arrest. It delivers an electric shock to the heart, giving it a chance to resume beating properly. City health officials say combined with CPR and AED can increase the likelihood of survival during cardiac arrest versus CPR alone. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time, 3:50.
If I told you there are as many as 2,000 homeless youth in our city each night, would you care?
What if I told you most of them have suffered from abuse and neglect? Then would you care? What if I told you many feel safer on the streets than they do at home? Now do you care? What if I told you I really need your help?
How young do they need to be before you care? Donate $8 a month to Covenant House Toronto and provide homeless kids with a warm bed, hot meal, and a better future. Visit covenanthousetoronto.ca to donate.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about the game of snow stacking.
Well, not really.
Yeah, okay, something about snow stacking capabilities of SnowX. What does that even mean?
SnowX plows and mounts sit higher than the competition, which allows for better stacking capabilities and provides better clearance to prevent bottoming out.
You're a SnowX expert, Bill Coy. Say that 10 times fast. Make snow fly and stack it high with SnowX plows from Coy Brothers.
1919 Wilson Avenue, KOOYBROS.com. 680 News Time, 3:51.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Now, here's Christine Langos.
This report is brought to you by Hakeem Optical. Well, they're really working at dousing these flames on the westbound 401 approaching Morningside in the Express. That's where we had a vehicle fire. It looks like the fire is almost out. We still have quite a bit of a white smoke in the air, so it's an area you might be distracted by if you're on this route already. It's causing a backup westbound 401 from west of Meadowvale Express and Collectors over to approaching Morningside. In the Express, the right lane is blocked. In the Collectors, the left lane is blocked with emergency crews. Westbound 401 is also busy 404 to Bayview Express. Problems westbound 401 approaching Young Collectors have been cleared away, but it's slow from Bayview in the Collectors, Allen alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon, and from 410 to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401 is slowed down from the 407 to Mavis, and now we have problems eastbound 401 approaching Leslie in the Collectors. 2 right lanes are blocked with a crash. It's slow from east of the 427 alternately Express and Collectors to approaching Leslie. Again, the problem is in the Collectors. Slow down through Scarborough. It's slow through Morningside Express and Collectors and again into the Durham region, but no other problems on the eastbound 401. On the northbound 400, delays from Shepherd to Steeles and jam from Teston to north of King Road, where emergency road work is still taking up that right lane. Delays on the northbound Don Valley 404 from north of Girard to north of Lawrence, from north of the 401 to the 407 because of pothole repairs. The 2 right lanes are blocked. Southbound 404 is slow from south of Finch to the 401 ramps. Delays on the westbound Gardner DVP to west of Strawn. Westbound QEW is heavy 427 to west of Cobra. Ford Plant to Trafalgar and from Bronte to Brant. Westbound 403 is slow from north of Steeles to north of Queen. And you'll find delays on the westbound 403 from Cobra to west of Huron, Ontario. And hearing about problems blocking westbound Vancouver from Heritage to Mississauga Road. It's Hakeem Optical's big winter sale. All Hakeem designer frames and lenses start from only $50 each when you buy 2 pairs. Visit HakeemOptical.ca today. Your next report is at 4:01. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramzahan.
Well, don't get used to today's weather. Really mild. The temperatures are actually cooling as we go through the week. And overnight tonight, we'll bring in that risk of freezing drizzle and a few flurries. It starts just after midnight, but doesn't end until about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So that means that morning commute, some icy spots will be out there as we start off at -1. Mainly cloudy in the afternoon, but drier at 3 degrees. Partly cloudy Wednesday, staying dry at -2. And then Thursday up to 0. But now we've got some snow starting early in the morning during that morning commute, switching to ice pellets and freezing rain, and then even some rain mixing in along the lake by Thursday evening. This is going to be an all-day affair impacting travel all day long and that high 0 degrees. And then Friday, another travel impact day with snow and blowing snow, gusty north wind and a high of -4, wind chill -12. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. It is now 5 degrees at Pearson.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotiabank. Investments feeling stuck? They don't need to be. Book an appointment with a Scotiabank advisor to energize your investing, because your investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. Coming up at 4, we'll have the latest from public health officials on the state of coronavirus in the province, and more Canadians stranded in Wuhan looking to come home.
This is
That's the same story. That's not two stories.
Listen here, my friend, and I'll offer a little advice. Why
I knew they weren't going to get a big enough plane. I knew it. Canadian government fucking knew it. They knew how many people they still couldn't get one big thing.
No clutter, just cause. There's all-in pricing from our trusted sellers too, and all purchases are protected by a compensation fund. Find your gem at OntarioCars.ca.
Be the first to know breaking news as soon as it happens. 680 News.
Police in Philadelphia have cleared Flyers mascot Gritty of an assault allegation. In late January, Flyers season ticket holder Chris Greenwell alleged that his 13-year-old son had been punched by the mascot during a photo shoot. In an interview with the Philadelphia Inquirer, Greenwell said his son was diagnosed with a back bruise. Police now say an investigation determined the actions of Gritty did not constitute physical assault. Business is next.
This is 680 News. The holidays are over, and it's time to take care of all those bills. Don't go to a payday loan company. Go to borrowwithyourcar.com. If you have equity in your car or home, go to the front of the line for fast approval on a loan up to $35,000. Car and homeowners, remember,
just one click. Borrowwithyourcar.com.
you get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
Borrowwithyourcar.com.
Some people just glow. What's their secret? It's not complicated. It's just eating right, exercising, and a skincare routine, including facials. Hannah Stone Massage and Facial Spa has 12 different facials, brightening facials, LED and microdermabrasion, to name a few. Hannah Stone will even customize a facial just for you. Ask your loved one to get you a Hannah Stone gift card for Valentine's Day. Purchase at one of their 31 locations or at hannahstone.ca. Get glowing.
680 News Time, 3:56.
Yeah, the 680 News Business Report. Here's Richard Silver.
So, Janet, face masks intended to keep out the deadly coronavirus aren't only in short supply, they're also now costing an arm and a leg. On Amazon, medical face masks now sell for almost $30, up from just $14 10 days ago. Anti-pollution
$14 for one of those fucking things?
To $40 from $15. A box of disposable masks sell for the reasonable price of $30 for 100, but Amazon notes that the earliest delivery date is late February. One reviewer joking, hey, we'll all be dead by then. Many stores in the GTA also running out of face masks. All right, meantime, here's an interesting one. The U.S. government is breaking up a big razor. The FTC announced today that it would block the parent company of Schick Razor from buying razor startup company Harry's in what was going to be a $1.3 billion acquisition. Schick is the number 2 razor maker behind Gillette. Both brands were forced to slash prices and overhaul their marketing strategies in recent years in response to Harry's and Dollar Shave Club, both of which sell direct-to-consumer online, selling razors and blades for a lot less than the big guys. In its decision, the FTC said allowing the deal to go through would remove a critical disruptive rival that has driven down prices and spurred innovation. All right, coming up here on the end of the trading day, and the main benchmarks are higher following Friday's sell-off. The TSX is up 61 points. That's 1/3%. It's at 17,380. We do have some weakness for gold stocks. The price for gold moving lower. It is down $7.30 to $1,580 the ounce. Most of the other sectors move higher. We are seeing some strength here for infotech and health. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 135, 0.5% to 28,389. S&P 500 up 27 points, and the Nasdaq up 121. Canadian dollar down 1/3% to 75.2 cents. U.S. top stories 60 seconds away, right here on 680 News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ziprecruiter.ca/CANADA. ziprecruiter.ca/Canada.
Now 680 News regional weather conditions for IA Clarington Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com.
In Brampton, partly cloudy and 5 degrees. Mississauga, partly cloudy and 5. In Markham, partly cloudy and 4. Downtown Toronto right now, we have a mix of sun and cloud and 5 degrees. 680 News Time, 4 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slijana Tominzik.
Good afternoon. It's Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news this hour. Ontario health officials say of the 108 coronavirus tests to date, 26 are still under investigation.
Did you see those full-page newspaper ads slamming Ontario's teachers' unions?
Someone broke the law in placing this advertisement.
The opposition is calling on Elections Ontario to investigate.
Also coming up, American talk radio icon Rush Limbaugh told his audience today he has advanced lung cancer.
Maple Leafs need a big outing tonight. They take on the Florida Panthers at 7, and we'll explain what happened to Kasperi Kapanen last week. Sports at 15.
There's the closing bell ringing on Wall Street. The Dow up 142 points. TSX gained 61. Down goes the Rudy. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 4:01.
Traffic and weather together on the one. Scott Hawking.
This report brought to you by CAA. We've got issues in both directions on the 401. Still this vehicle fire on the westbound 401 approaching Morningside. It's in fact now a vehicle fire cleanup. It's been put out, but crews are still on the scene. So lane restrictions of both the Express and Collectors. Approaching Morningside in the Express, the right lane is blocked. The right shoulder in the Express is where the fire actually was. Crews also showed up in the Collector lane, so approaching Morningside Collectors, we have emergency crews in the left lane, all due to the same issue. It's busy Meadowvale Express and Collectors to approaching Morningside. And then a fairly typical volume just filling in across the city, 404 to Avenue Express and Collector lanes, and Allen to Dixon, 410 to west of Mavis, and 407 to Trafalgar. So beyond the Morningside issue, pretty typical drive westbound. Eastbound 401 approaching Leslie in the Collectors. We have 2 right lanes blocked with a collision. So it is busy from Winston Churchill to Mavis, 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors. There is a short break and then gets heavy approaching Keele, alternately Express and Collectors to approaching Leslie. A bit of a delay in Scarborough, Victoria Park to east of Kennedy Collectors. And in fact, we're just getting word of a new collision in this area right by Kennedy and the Collectors. The right lane is now blocked. We then got volume Nielsen to east of Morningside as traffic slows to look at the vehicle fire cleanup. Northbound 404, the pothole repairs by the 407 have cleared. It's heavy off the DVP north of Girard, off and on to north of 16th Avenue. Volume should clear out a little bit. And then the 400 northbound north of King Road, we still have emergency road work in the right lane. So it's very heavy from Teston Road. Since 1903, CAA Advocacy has been helping make safe travels possible for Canadians. Learn more about safe travels at caasco.com/advocacy. Your next report at 4:11, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Well, we're going to stay dry through this evening, increasing cloud, and then after midnight, watch for some flurries and even some freezing drizzle. So if anything is untreated, unsalted, expect there to be some icy conditions out there on sidewalks and roads into the morning commute, especially across the north of GTA. So again, leave some extra time and throw down some salt tonight before you head off to bed. We'll start the day off at -1. The afternoon, we dry out, a couple of sunny breaks, still above seasonal with a high of 3 degrees, getting colder as the week goes on. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1. It is currently 5 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 4:03.
The province's public health officials say testing continues, but for now, there are no new cases of coronavirus here in Ontario. Situation different internationally. The number of people infected worldwide has risen to more than 17,000. More than 360 people died after contracting the virus.
680's Irene Preichler joins us now with the latest on the coronavirus here at home.
So far, 108 tests for coronavirus have been done in Ontario. Dr. Barbara Yaffe, the province's Associate Chief Medical Officer of Health, says 76 have been negative, 3 presumed negative, 26 with results pending, and 3 people tested positive and are being treated.
They're all doing well. They're being monitored by public health, local public health, and they would be released when we get 2 negative specimens at least 24 hours apart, which I don't believe has happened yet.
The number of people under investigation in the province for coronavirus seems to be dropping. It's been about 11 days since China imposed strict travel restrictions, essentially preventing people from leaving the area where the virus originated. I'm Irene Franklin.
Meanwhile, not 1 but 2 planes will be needed to bring home Canadians stranded in Wuhan.
Working hard with Chinese authorities in terms of bringing people home as quickly as we can.
That's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the efforts to help those under lockdown in the Wuhan region of China. Plans are in place and a plane is on standby in Vietnam. But with 304 Canadians now asking to leave, Defense have chartered a second plane just in case they need it. However, Foreign Affairs Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne says they're still awaiting final approvals.
The airspace in Yuan is currently closed, so we need special dispensation for a plane to land.
Health Minister Patty Hajdu says passengers will be screened by both Chinese and Canadian officials, and if they show symptoms, they won't be allowed to board.
We have no indication that any of the Canadians asking for help are ill right now.
The final destination is CFB Trenton, where passengers will be quarantined for 2 weeks. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
This is 680 News. A series of anti-teacher advertisements ran in 3 national newspapers over the weekend, and the NDP now wants Elections Ontario to look into where the ads came from and who exactly paid for them. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live with that. Mark.
So, Jenna, these were 3 full-page ads appearing in the Star, the Globe and Mail, and the National Post. The logo on the ads claims they're from a group calling itself Vaughan Working Families. Trouble is, there appears to be no such organization. So the NDP opposition wants to find out who placed the ads and why.
Someone broke the law in placing this advertisement. Someone has the same motivation as the government because they're using the same talking points.
MPP Taras Nadashak is the ethics and accountability critic for the NDP. He claims these ads are illegal because they were seen in Ottawa, where by-election campaigning is underway, and newspaper ads that big grossly exceed the spending limit for third-party political ads. A one-sentence statement from Education Minister Stephen Lecce's spokesperson says, quote, the government was not aware of the advertisements and not familiar with the group Vaughan Working Families, unquote. The Toronto Star has issued a statement saying they're actively looking into this matter. Elections Ontario tells me they do not comment on what complaints are being investigated or not investigated. Live at Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
That's the 680 News. Mayor Tory promising an additional $6 million in this year's budget to help support anti-violence measures as gunplay grows in the city.
Some of the communities that have been directly impacted by the rise in gangs and gun violence have long been calling for funding to tackle this issue on the ground floor. And now Mayor Tory says that's exactly what they're going to get as the city invests an additional $6 million to create community programs that he believes will work.
The notion somehow that these programs are not going to make a big difference in the lives of these neighborhoods and these kids and these families, I completely reject.
Abdul Qadir Noor with the Jane Finch Family Center says this is something they've needed for a long time.
I've been hoping for a moment like this for a long time, so I was actually in shock realizing that, hey, it's finally something that's happening. It's amazing. It's going to be a great opportunity to be able to tackle a lot of the issues that are faced within these communities.
In North York, I'm Momin Qureshi.
An Air Canada flight bound for Toronto from Madrid has landed safely back in Spain after reporting technical problems shortly after takeoff. The Boeing 767 had to circle Madrid's international airport for 4 hours, burning off fuel before it could make the emergency landing. The pilots reported problems with one of the plane's 2 engines and a ruptured tire during takeoff. Air Canada says while all 128 passengers on board Flight 837 were not hurt, they have been put up in hotels in Madrid and will be rebooked on other flights.
This portion of the news brought to you by Niagara Falls View Casino. The man at the center of an SIU investigation has died in hospital. 37-year-old Ricardo Mirabels was shot multiple times by police when officers tried to stop his pickup truck near Scarborough Town Center on January 18th. He was rushed to hospital and later charged in the death of a 49-year-old woman who was pulled from an apartment fire in mid-January. Mirabels died of his injuries earlier today. The SIU continues to investigate.
Here with All News Radio 680 News, Rush Limbaugh, the most prominent political radio host in the United States, has been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. The 69-year-old making that announcement during his show this afternoon. He says he'll have to miss shows in the future for treatment. Limbaugh has been hosting the Rush Limbaugh Show for the last 31 years.
My pain condition is called suicide disease. We'll see what's happening at the pumps.
680 News Time 409.
This is 680 News.
Trigeminal neuralgia. One out of 2 people that get it kills themselves in the first 2 years of diagnosis.
Live at Niagara
Falls View Casino.
That's how bad it
From
is.
April 14th to 22nd, experience Jersey Nights, a tribute to the greatest hits of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. The songs that you know and love, live at Niagara Falls View Casino. Visit fallsviewcasinoresort.com for tickets. Jersey Nights, live April 14th to 22nd at Niagara Falls View Casino.
City Streets Motors on Pottery Road west of the Bayview Extension forced to share one lane due to construction. Southbound McCown south of the 401, the right lane blocked for construction. Now, the 680 newscast price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight, but $1.09.9. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together, ongoing vehicle fire cleanup on the westbound 401 approaching Morningside, affecting both express and collector lanes.
680 News Time 410.
City Streets was brought to you by North Toronto Auction. It's a huge public auction this Saturday at North Toronto Auction, featuring ex-police vehicles and minivans for any budget. Plus, everything has a 60-day warranty. Visit NorthTorontoAuction.com.
Did they take all the lights and shit off?
Escape the winter cold with RedTag.ca hot vacation deals. From last-minute getaways where you can save up to 50% off to trips planned out months in advance using RedTag.ca's lowest price calendar. Plus, now get air miles, reward miles on all vacation packages, including European packages. More rewards, more savings. Plan your perfect trip today at RedTag.ca. Or call 1-866-5-REDTAG. Certain restrictions apply.
RedTag.ca. Have you heard about direct lending? It's more flexible than bank lending without the bank. With tougher regulations after the financial crisis, traditional banks have cut back on lending to homeowners. With a home equity loan from Capital Direct, the money that you could use is a simple phone call away. Whether it's home renovations, college tuition, or you just want to pay down taxes, Capital Direct can help. Go direct. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available for you. CA.
City News Time 411.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, Kyle.
This report brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates, who still have this vehicle fire cleanup on the westbound 401. It's just as you approach Morningside. It took place, the fire itself, in the express lanes, but we've also got lanes blocked in the collectors because of the cleanup. So West 401 approaching Morningside in the express, the right lane is blocked. In the collectors, the left lane is blocked. So it is slow Meadowvale, both express and collectors, to approaching Morningside with lane restrictions. Then a bit busy 404 over to Bayview, both express and collectors. Gets a bit busy again, Yonge 2 Avenue in the collectors. And then off and on delays Keel to Dixon, 410 to west of Mavis, express and collector lanes affected. It looks like we have a new issue approaching Trafalgar. Could have a lane blocked with a collision here. Jams up from approaching the 407 to approaching Trafalgar. And then past that, it's fine. So if you're in the area, start 680 on your cell phone to provide an update there. Eastbound 401, busy Winston Churchill to Mavis, and 427 to the 400, express and collectors. Then we have this issue approaching Leslie in the collectors. 2 right lanes still blocked for the crash. So it does get busy approaching Keel, alternately express and collectors to approaching Leslie. Then from the DVP to Victoria Park Express, and very heavy Victoria Park to Kennedy in the collectors, but problems at Kennedy collectors have just cleared. So then busy again Nielsen to east of Morningside, express and collectors. Traffic slowing to look at the westbound fire cleanup, and then busy through Salem. So the 401, lots of volume in both directions and some problems. The only other issue is northbound 400 north of King Road, emergency road work in the right lane. So first there's a bit of volume Shepherd to Steeles, then it gets very heavy Major Mackenzie to north of King Road with the lane restriction there. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, chartered professional accountants. Call from your mobile now at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Your next report at 421, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ranza. Hi.
All right, increasing cloud after this gorgeous day. I mean, well above seasonal. That's it. We're getting colder, though, as the week goes on. And overnight tonight, after midnight, some freezing drizzle, some flurries, means some icy conditions out there through that morning commute, especially on untreated surfaces. We're going to start off at -1, wind chill -6 in the morning, and then through the afternoon, a couple of sunny breaks. Afternoon drive home should be nice and dry with a high of 3 degrees. And Wednesday, partly cloudy. It's going to be the last dry day of the week with a high of -2. That's back to seasonal. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. It is currently 5 degrees at Pearson.
Now, Scotia High Trade Market Minute, the Business Center, Richie.
Kane's earnings just in here from Alphabet. This is the Google parent company. The top line, not as big as what analysts were looking for, $46.08 billion, missing the mark. However, bottom line earnings per share better than expected, $15.35. Alphabet stock marginally lower here in the after-hours trade. Interesting to note, Alphabet said YouTube ad revenue in the quarter totaled $4.7 billion and $15 billion for 2019 on the whole. Market closing numbers are as follows. The TSX up 61 points to 17,379. The Dow added 143 to 28,399. S&P 500 up 24 points, 0.75%. And the Nasdaq up 122. Canadian dollar down at 75.21 cents US. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
At the Monitoring Center, you pay only $9.99 per month to monitor your alarm system. That's right, you're not stuck paying $20 to $30 per month. Whether you're activating your alarm system for the very first time or switching to